Hello back there. How you guys doing up there? Good? I must admit I'm a tiny bit nervous because I have 10 minutes to convince you to stop buying stuff. And I'm a marketing guy, so it's kind of counterproductive. But what I want to accomplish today in this talk is I want to help you reframe your thinking and move from being an unbridled consumer and become an enlightened consumer, okay? That's the goal for today in my 10 minutes. And in order to do so, we have to take one little step that requires vigilance. I'm going to create two sets of facts for you and a notion to consider. That's what I like to do in my 10 minutes, okay? You guys ready? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about marketing. And I'm going to talk about how we get into your head and how we hunt you down and we manipulate you and convince you to buy stuff that you don't need with money you don't have, okay? So let me teach you some tricks about marketing and how we lead you guys around by the nose. The first thing we do is well, we have money on our side. We have trillions and trillions of dollars that we dedicate to advertising. The media buy for McDonald's would feed Africa perpetually. Now, really, how weird is that, right? If you really think about that, the advertising for McDonald's would feed Africa. So there's all this money at play, trillions of dollars designed to get into your head and convince you to buy stuff that you don't really need with money that you often don't have, okay? Now, a subset of this budget, or hundreds of millions of dollars, are put to bear to hire consumer psychologists, behavioral economists that are all working nonstop to figure out how to get into your head and how to manipulate you into buying stuff that you can't afford with money you often don't have. This is really weird. And these people are like economic stalkers. They hunt you down wherever you may go. So 30 or 40 years ago, you might have, say, in the print media field, people stopped reading print ads. So what they did is they started analyzing how to manipulate you to read more print ads. So they did things like they realized that at the end of a sentence, there's a period. And that gave you permission to stop and jump off to something else. So if you remove the period out of the headline, it forced your mind's eye unconsciously to go into the body copy to read the ad. That's kind of greasy. And then, of course, you get into television, right? And so with TV, you know, I see the couch here, right? And I see the TV, right? And I'm kind of saying, where's the remote? And I'm getting a little twitchy here. But really, 84% of us don't like TV ads. So, rather than making TV ads more relevant and interesting and informative, what we did instead, the Einsteins in Wall Street, is they created this process called stop setting. So stop setting is simply where you change the physical image of the TV ad about every 3 seconds to force you to physiologically watch that TV ad whether you want to watch it or not. Okay? So this is used very effectively to get children, to manipulate children, to manipulate their parents to buy stuff that they don't necessarily need with money they don't necessarily have. So, Will Rogers is a famous satirist from the 1930s, and his quote was, "We buy stuff we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't really like." Interesting quote. And marketing, we prey on that insecurity. We prey on that emotion and that ego, and that statement says it all. Now, you figure, okay, I'm in the social media scene. I'm immune from marketing. I'm immune from advertising messaging. Not so. To go and get into the heads of you folks on Facebook, LinkedIn, what have you, we invented something called viral marketing. Viral marketing. And it works very simply like this. We've studied plague distribution theory, okay? All these smart people in New York and London, Tokyo, Paris, what have you. And we figured out how to take the modeling from plague distribution theory and put it into marketing to force you to buy things that you can't afford. So this is how it works. Say, for instance, I have smallpox. I have some kind of a plague. I have smallpox, right? And so before I expire, I go and I sneeze, right? I sneeze all my smallpox-laden sneeze juice, right? All over you guys there. You're all now ingesting all the droplets from my sneezing, right? And so what happens is all of you guys expire, except for you, sir, in the blue shirt, the man that won the fuzzy, right? Before you expire, you walk over here and you go and you sneeze all over those people over there. And all of you people expire and die from smallpox, except for you, sir, in that white shirt. And you go out in the lobby, you sneeze, and so you see how it works, right? So Seth Godin, the famous New York marketer, calls these people sneezers. So in marketing, when we're drilling into Facebook and social media, we hunt for the sneezers. Okay? Point is, marketing will hunt you wherever you go. You don't have a hope, in my opinion. And there's too much money at play, too many brains at play, figuring out how to manipulate you into buying things. Now, it's absolutely crucial at this juncture in history that you stop. We've had a nice little relationship of going into debt, buying things for the last 50, 60, 70 years, but now we have to stop. And we have to stop because the earth is starting to decompose and the economy is starting to decouple, okay? We all know about the environment. We all know about the decay that's slowly we're starting to pollute, pee in our own soup, so to speak, and we know we have to stop doing that. But now I'm going to talk about the economy. I'm going to talk about why you have to stop buying stuff. And you have to stop buying stuff because next week the United States have to shave $1.2 trillion out of their operating budget. We have to stop because in Europe, $25 trillion of their debt is bad. We have to stop because the fourth largest economy, California, is bankrupt. We have to stop because 68 million Americans spend 38% of their income on food. And it's not like high-quality organic food. We're talking Walmart food, okay? So what I'm getting at is these governments, these large institutions drive about 40 to 45% of our economy, and people are going to get laid off. The economy is going to contract. It's starting to already. And so what's going to happen now is marketing and this calamity are going to clash. And the problem is some of you will be smart. Some of you will, as you say, go to cash, contract, get smart. But most of you will still be fascinated by the shiny objects. And you have to stop. Okay? So we're in a difficult situation. The real underlying insidious part of the marketing piece is that marketing does not care. They don't care if you overpurchase. They don't care if you go into bankruptcy. They don't care if you run up your credit card debt. They're of the view that if you do that, you're an idiot, and marketing is not there to save you from yourself. So it's a real nasty two-sided sword. Now, there's one thing that we can do that can thwart this big, massive marketing machine, advertising machine that pounds us with all this information to buy stuff that we can't afford, that we don't necessarily need, and that is to make friends with your core values. Now, that might sound a little bit new age, a little bit hippie, but it really is true, and it's at the core of how you thwart undesirable external stimuli. And let me explain. Have you ever bought, like, say, a red Toyota or a car, and all of a sudden you see all those cars out in the street, right? Isn't that weird? And so that's how it works with articulating something, creating something cognitive, as Dr. Sean Richardson said this morning. So you put your eyeballs onto something and you focus on it, you make friends with it, and you become cognitive, and you address it every day. What happens is you create filters and boundaries. You naturally let things in that support your core values, and you naturally push away things that do not support your core values. So what happens is this. You go and you create core values. You wrap your mind around that. Do you value time? Do you value your children? Do you value your environment? Do you value the intimacy of connecting with your friends. There are so many things, so many core values of quality that you can connect with that don't involve bling. Make friends with the core values, you become an enlightened consumer, and then you can carry the day. Thanks.